Hi, today I'm going to teach you a quick yoga sequence that's designed to help you with tension in your neck and shoulders. The awesome thing about this sequence is we never stand up. So we're going to start by coming to child's pose. So we're going to bring our toes together, spread your knees wide, and you're going to fold forward over your legs. If it's not comfortable, if you can't get your butt onto your heels in child's pose, you can always put like a big old pillow in between here to help you. Or you can put a pillow underneath your head to let your head relax. We're going to start right here with your forehead down. And I want you to try to start to breathe through your nose and take 10 deep breaths. And I'm going to practice that here. 1, 2. So when you're taking really deep breaths, you're trying to breathe into your rib cage. Feel your ribs expand. Breathe all the way down towards your tailbone, into your belly. From here, we're going to come up onto hands and knees. And we're going to do cat and cow to warm up the back. So cat pose, you tuck your chin and round your spine up, and you're exhaling here. You really exaggerate this movement, pull your belly button in. And cow pose, you lift your head. Think about pressing your shoulders down away from your ears, allowing your heart to shine forward. Take that tailbone and kind of roll it up away from the back of the knee, so you're feeling an elongation all along the front of the body. And then low back into cat, rounding that spine on your exhale. Take a long exhale. Inhale into cow, look forward, roll the tailbone up. Exhale, round into cat. Really find space in between the shoulder blades. Inhale into cow. And then we'll come to a neutral spine and we'll just kind of like see our side. So we're taking our left ear towards our left hip and moving the hip towards the ear, and then switching sides, kind of like you're wagging your tail. And then we're going to go back to the first side. So we're just really kind of stretching the side waist. Do that one more time. And then we're going to come back to center. And we're going to do our puppy stretch, our half dog. So we're going to bend our left elbow, bring the forearm down so it's parallel to the front of your mat. Walk the right hand out. It doesn't matter how far. And we're going to drop the forehead down and try to rest it on the arm. If it doesn't rest, you're just going to go in that direction. Keep your hips up here over the knees and let your chest drop down, really dipping into the right shoulder here. And we're going to take 5 breaths. And you're going to try to relax every other part of your body. Breathing through the nose. Dipping into that right shoulder. And the right hand lifts up and you bring it right underneath the right shoulder. Come up to cat to your hands and knees. And then bend the right elbow, bring the forearm parallel to the front of the mat, walk that left hand out, the arm. Keeping the hips over the knees, drop the chest towards the mat and feel the stretch in the left shoulder area. 5 deep breaths. Really exaggerate the breathing. This is 5. And the left hand comes up. We come back to hands and knees. And now we're going to bring both hands forward. So both hands walk forward. I'm going to scoop myself a little farther back. Both hands walk forward. The arms are parallel. This can be a little bit more of an intense stretch. Your forehead may not reach the floor. Keep your breath flowing. So when you feel the intensity coming, breathe deeply into wherever you are. In yoga, we try never to hold the breath. Always the breath flows. 5 breaths here. And after the 5th breath, you carefully make your way back to hands and knees. You want to make sure that those hands end up directly underneath the shoulders, the knees end up directly underneath the hips. You're about hip distance apart. We're going to thread the needle. So we're going to start with our right hand, and we're going to thread it between the left wrist and the left knee. And we're going to drop our right shoulder to the floor. Right palm turns up, right ear comes to the mat. You can take the left hand forward, and you're stretching the back. It's a nice little twist. If this is not, if you want a little bit more, you can take the top arm and reach it up towards the sky. 5 breaths here. So 3, 4. And then the left hand comes closer to your face. And you come back to your hands and knees. Make sure you reposition so that you're stacked. Now you take that left arm and thread it between the right wrist and knee. Left shoulder down, left ear down, right hand forward. You want to keep your hips stacked directly facing the floor so we're not turning at the hips. Remember, if you want a little bit more, you can reach the top arm up to the sky. That intensifies the stretch across the back. Coming back towards hands and knees. One option to do to add into this series is to come to child's pose quite often in between each pose, so that you would sit back on those heels, fold yourself forward over the body, and rest here. That's a great way to stretch out the back. If you're not into coming into child's pose, we're going to move into downward dog. So from hands and knees, we're going to lift the feet off the floor, bring the toes to the mat. We're going to scoop the belly in, walk your hands a little bit forward, and then we're going to press the hips high up into the sky, and then we're going to shift our belly towards our thighs and heels towards the floor. So we're creating this upside down V shape, and this is our downward dog. When you're first starting yoga, we tend to end up here, kind of more like a modified plank. And you really want to move the belly towards the thighs by hinging forward the hips so that you're trying to get a really straight line from the wrist to the shoulder. Knees can be bent a lot in this pose. If you have tight hamstrings, this might be your downward dog for the beginning. Eventually, you'll be able to have those straighter legs. And we're trying to relax into this pose, so relax the shoulders, press into the palms evenly, press into the base of the fingers, the base of the thumb, and breathe. From here, we're going to come to a lunge. We're going to take our right foot and step it up in between our hands. Now, we may have to grab that foot and bring it up here. We're going to drop the left knee down, point the left toe, and this is your low lunge. So we want to have our fingertips on the floor. We want to have our right knee directly over the right ankle. So if you end up in a shorter stance and you're like this and you're feeling it intensely in the back of your the back of your heel, I want you to grab that foot and bring it forward so that you have this angle right here. So the knee is over the ankle, or it could even be a little bit behind the ankle. We're going to drop into this hip flexor right here and allow it to stretch. You can also have blocks or books or something here if you can't quite reach the floor, or hands could be here. Lots of options for you in your lunge pose. We have 5 breaths here. And then we're going to just shift and switch legs. So we're going to help that right foot come back. The right knee comes to the floor. The left leg comes forward. Again, we want that 90-degree angle or a little bit behind. The reason we don't want to have this angle is it's very intense on the knee and the ankle. And so it's safer for your knee to be directly over. Finding your lunge, drop into the right hip here. Find whatever variation is best for you, whether it's up or down or on your blocks. 3, 4, 5. All right, we're going to shift back and switch legs again. So bringing the right leg forward. This time we're going to take the left hand to the mat. So we want the palm down. We're going to take the right hand and reach it towards the sky. So eventually we want to have this right shoulder directly over the left shoulder and the right hand reaching way up towards the sky. If you're here, that's totally fine. You're just working on turning your body towards the right leg. 3. Breathing deeply. 4, 5. Good. So bring the right hand down, switch back. So through hands and knees. Left leg comes forward, again making sure knees over ankle, right palm on the floor, and twisting towards the left knee. Looking up at the sky, which is very bright. Good. So again, remember, if you're not all the way twisted open, that's okay. You be where you are today and just breathe into it. That's 5. We're going to bring the hand down. We're going to shift back to hands and knees. Coming to a seated position, and then we're going to come all the way around, however you want to get here, onto your back. Laying on your back, you're going to tuck the knees into the chest and hug the knees in close. Close your eyes for a moment. This is like child's pose on your back. Really pull those knees as close into your body. We may be here. Really want to try to pull the knees together and in, almost flattening the thighs to the belly, while at the same time flattening the back to the mat. So try not to be here. We want to have a completely relaxed neck. So head on the mat. So from here, we're going to keep our right knee right where it is, and we're going to bring the left foot to the ground. Left foot is flat, left knee is bent. We're going to take hold of the right ankle. Sorry if my foot is dirty. We're going to place the right ankle on the right thigh somewhere. We can start by taking the right hand and gently just pushing the knee away from us. You're already feeling a stretch in the hip. If this is intense enough for you, you stay right here. If you want a little bit more, you'll start to lift the left foot off the floor. Maybe you can reach behind the left thigh. You can also hold onto the front of your pants, or you can reach onto the left shin and hug your left knee into your chest. What we want to try to keep is this right knee pointing out to the side and keep the right foot flexed to protect the right knee. Of course, the head and shoulders stay on the mat so we don't add tension. We're going to stay here for at least 5 breaths. Feel free to pause this and stay here longer. This is a wonderful stretch for the hips. When you're ready to release, just unwind. You can rest here for a moment. You can rock your legs side to side. Keeping the right knee right where it is. Pull the left knee into the chest. Grab hold of the left ankle. Place it on the right thigh. Start with the left hand, gently pushing the knee away from you. You can stay here. Or you can lift the right foot off the floor, holding onto the front, the back, or the shin of the right leg. Remember to flex the left foot to keep that knee nice and safe. Head and shoulders rest on the mat. Deep breath. So sometimes where you're feeling the most intensity in your stretch, which for me is right around here, we can have a tendency to really grip and tighten up, like getting a little afraid of that stretch, and you really want to breathe into it and tell your body to relax. And then we're going to unwind. This time we're going to come into bridge pose, so both feet are flat on the mat, knees are pointing towards the sky, hips are pointing towards the sky. Try not to turn your head in this pose, so if you've never done this pose, watch it first and then try it. We want our feet about hip distance apart. Hip distance is, this hip distance, not the outside of your hips, but your hip bones. You can bring your feet in as close as you can to the body, and then we're going to lift the hips up. And we want a nice straight line from the shoulders to the knees, and the hands can be on the mat, palms facing down. You still want to maintain a nice curve under the neck. So the back of the head is gently resting, so we're not pushing a lot of weight in the back of the head. You're just pressing up with the legs. If you notice that your legs are kind of falling apart, you want to pull them towards each other and keep them parallel to each other. So thighs parallel. This is a back bend and a chest opener. Breathe here. Always maintain a space between the chin and the chest also, keeping the breath flowing. And to come out of this, we roll slowly down. Think about coming from the top of the back and rolling each individual vertebrae into the mat one at a time. So slowly, slowly, slowly. Your tailbone is the last thing to come to the mat. And you tuck those knees back into the chest. I like to rock side to side so it feels good on the back. And we're ready for our spinal twist. So we'll start here with the knees together, and we're going to pretend that we're sitting in a chair. So we're going to bring the knees over the hips and have that chair position with the legs. We're going to take our arms out T-shape right next to the body, and we're going to let both legs roll over towards the right side. The legs are not going to stay together, but we're going to try to keep our left shoulder towards the mat and just hinge from somewhere around the waist all the way towards the legs. Your legs may be up here, not reaching the floor at all, and that's totally fine. We're really kind of keeping the chest facing the sky. If you want to turn your head and look at your left hand, you can. Keep your breath flowing. And if you're after your fifth breath, you're going to look back up at the ceiling. If you turned your head, you're going to roll back up onto your back. Give yourself a little hug, rock back side to side if you need to. Scoot yourself back to the center of your mat. Coming back into that chair shape with your legs. Your arms are going to come out shoulder height, palms down. And both legs are going to rock over towards the left. And we're going to keep our right shoulder down towards our mat as much as possible, so that we're twisting from about the waist downwards. Then you could look towards your right hand. If you look to the right hand, after your fifth breath, you're going to look back up at the sky, roll back onto your back. Give yourself that last chance to wiggle, to adjust, and we're going to get ready for Shavasana, final relaxation. We don't want to skip Shavasana. I'm just scooching myself onto my mat. Shavasana is like the most important part of yoga. So you can lie yourself down, let your feet come apart, close your eyes, turn your palms to face the sky, and the hands come down. If you're still feeling a little tension in the lower back, another great option is just to have your knees bent and keep yourself lying down this way. So you're going to close your eyes, and you're going to completely let go. No longer do you need to relax. No longer do you need to focus on your yogic breathing. Feel yourself sinking into the mat. We'll stay here. You want to try to be in Shavasana for about 5 minutes. And then we're going to come back into our bodies. Just maybe wiggle the fingers and the toes. Keep your eyes closed. Maybe stretch your body long. You're going to roll over to your favorite side. And then you're going to come up to a comfortable seated position. Keep your eyes closed. So cross your legs or legs out in front of you, or you can sit with your legs tucked underneath you, whatever is most comfortable. Eyes remain closed for a little bit longer. Just rest your hands on your thighs. And take a moment to feel how your body feels now after your quick little yoga class. And to end class, we'll take our hands alongside us. And with a great big inhale, stretch your arms way out wide and then all the way up overhead until the hands meet up overhead. And then with that prayer, hands together, we float the hands down in front of the body until your hands reach heart center. Press the thumbs to your heart, tuck the chin, and now open the eyes. And you have arrived. Namaste. Thank you very much for taking this quick little yoga class with me. Remember that you can stay in Shavasana as long or as short as you want. In fact, you can do any of the poses as long or as short as you want. Feel free to pause at any time. And comments are great. Thanks.